Hey guys, it's your boy Adequate, representing There It Is Entertainment. And today, I'm here with my homie Zeus, my ball python. What I'm going to do is show you guys how I clean this cage. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you later.
Okay, now the first thing that you want to do is to remove everything from on top of the cage. For instance, I have a heating lamp on the right side of the cage and a piece of cardboard on the left side of the cage, so that way I could be able to regulate the humidity and temperature on the cooler end of the cage. I also have some rocks on top of the cage, which prevents the snake from escaping. After you've removed everything from on top of the cage, you want to place the cage on the ground. And make sure that it's on a flat surface. Also, have a container on standby. That way, you can have the snake in a safe place when you remove it from the cage. I still have the container that I originally bought the snake in, and it still comes in handy. The next thing I do is hit the cage outside. You don't have to do this, but I personally prefer to clean the cage outdoors. That way I have more room and I have better access to my water hose. Then I remove all the amenities from inside the snake's cage, like the rocks, the hiding hole, the water dish, and the cardboard tube that I use for my snake. This is the fun part. Now what we're going to do, we're going to remove all the substrate from the bottom of the cage. Removing the substrate helps clean the urine and feces that was left behind by your snake. And doing this also decreases the chances of your snake getting ill in the future, so make sure that you do it thoroughly. Now this is when we clean the interior of the cage with solutions. The solutions that I use are bleach, Fabuloso, and Windex. And if you have sensitive skin, be sure to wear gloves. The first thing I do is run water on the bottom of the cage. Then I add my solutions. This helps kill any bacteria or pests that might be living in your snake's cage, and also disinfects the cage. Now this is when we scrub the cage. You can use a sponge or an old rag, and make sure that you get all the corners and crevices in the cage, and make sure that you do it thoroughly. After I scrub the cage, what I like to do is soak the amenities inside the cage using the same water. Then I scrub down the amenities. That way, they're also disinfected. Then, I rinse the amenities and then dry them off with a towel. Or if you feel more comfortable letting them dry in the sun, that's also fine. Now, we're going to pour all of the water out of the cage. And remember to rinse and pour repeatedly until you get all of the suds out of the cage. After you're done rinsing the cage, make sure that you dry it off with a towel. Then, I spray the cage with Windex so I can wipe down the glass so it can have a nice clean feel to it. Next, I put all the amenities back in the cage so that way I could transfer it safely back inside the house. After you get inside of the house, apply the substrate to the bottom of the tank. The substrate that I'm currently using is called natural softwood. Mind you, I'm only using this substrate temporarily. The reason why I decided to use it is because I wanted the snake to be acclimated into its new habitat when I brought it back home. The substrate that I'm going to use next is either going to be writing paper or copier paper. I know it sounds weird, but it will cause no harm to Zeus. He'll still be able to thrive and live a good life. Then I put back everything that I took out of the cage. And then I assemble it the same way that I did originally before I started to clean out the cage. I know what you're thinking. What the hell is Adequate doing? Is he really giving his snake a bath? Well, let me explain first. There's a method to my madness. The reason that I'm doing this is because Zeus has been having a problem shedding lately due to the temperature change because it's summer now. So what I need to do is assist him in his shedding process. This will help him shed with a full coat. Because what happens is, if your snake is dehydrated or is not getting enough water or the humidity is not at the right temperature, then it will have problems shedding. One thing you never ever want to do is use your fingers to peel the snake's skin off while it's in the shedding process. This can irritate the snake. Also, don't use soap when applying this method. I mean, they're reptiles, not mammals. Last, but definitely not least, you reintroduce your snake back into its habitat. And please remember, wait at least 3 or 4 days before you start to handle your snake again. And also, wash your hands whenever you deal with your snake or whenever you clean this cage. This will help you keep your snake and yourself sanitized. So keep that in mind.
And there you have it. This is how I clean Zeus's cage. And if you guys have any questions or even advice, be sure you put them in the comments and I'll make sure that I read them. Also, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be sure to do more tutorials about things that have to do with taking care of your herd. So remember, be a herper, not a derper. Peace. There it is.